On to Fggc Bwari lesson series. Our topic for today is obedience and its reward, and we'll also look at disobedience and its consequences, Ss2 classes. Before we go into the topic, we'll first of all look at what obedience is. Obedience is when an order is being given and you do it willingly, without complaining. That is obedience. And we are told that obedience, when you obey, there are certain benefits attached to obedience. But before we go into the benefits, we'll first of all look at some persons in the Bible that obeyed God's word and they were rewarded. We'll look at number one, Joseph. Number two, we'll talk of David. And number three, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These are the three persons we are going to look at from the Bible. Like in Joseph's case, there's a commandment that says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." And we are told that from the beginning, Joseph's dream were to come true. And coming true, he had to pass through different processes. And these processes are the ones that took him to Potiphar's house. And in Potiphar's house, we are told that the wife wanted to lure Joseph into having sex with him. But at the end, since he obeyed that commandment, that thou shalt not commit adultery, we were told that God decided to reward him. And how was he rewarded? Number one, we were told that when he interpreted the dream of Pharaoh, what happened to him? We are told that he was being promoted from being a slave boy, from being a prisoner to an administrator. And not only being an administrator, we were told that he was given the responsibility of planting, harvesting, and storage, of which it came to the help of his kingdom. Then we take the second person, David. David was a well-known leader. We were told that when Saul disobeyed God, God decided to punish Saul. And how was he punished? He was punished, the kingdom was taken away from him. What was his disobedience? His disobedience was when he was asked to go to the Amalek and destroy the whole kingdom. But he did not obey God's law. He decided to go to the Amalek, destroy the things that were not watched, and decided to bring the king of Amalek alive and the fattest ram. And God was not happy with him and decided to punish him. And the punishment was the kingdom was taken away from him. The good spirit in him was taken away, and an evil spirit started tormenting him. This evil spirit that was tormenting him, it is only music that can restore him back. And we were told that he started envying David because of David's achievement. And with that, we were told that he started pursuing David and wanted to kill David. But unfortunately, David's army commander was called Abishai, while Saul's army commander was called Abner. In the process, after pursuing him for a very long time, he went to a wilderness to rest. While he was in that wilderness, something serious happened. David had to trace him to that wilderness. When he saw him, all of them, the army commander, the soldiers, everybody was asleep. It was an opportunity for David to kill Saul. But one of the commandments says, "Thou shalt not kill." And immediately he remembered that commandment. And his army commander, Abishai, asked him, "This is an opportunity. Let us kill this Saul so that we will be free." What happened? David said, "We shall not lay our hands on God's anointed." we shall not lay our hands on God's anointed. And what happened immediately after that? We were told that he beckoned on Saul and asked Abner, you were asked to take care of this man. Why have you left him? When they got to the valley, we were told that he collected his spear, he collected his jar of water before he went up the mountain. And what happened immediately? As he called on Abner, he said, look at his jar of water, look at his spear. If I had intended killing him, I would have done it. And what happened at the end? Saul became so sober, he became so ashamed of himself and beckoned on David to come. That David should come. He has forgiven him. He will no more pursue him. So the reward there is that when you obey God, even your enemy will be at peace with you. So Saul was at peace with David. We go to the third one, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These were the three youths that were in Babylon. And what happened was, King Nebuchadnezzar decided to carve a golden calf. And in this golden calf, he called the elders and instructed them that we should dedicate this golden calf. And when we have dedicated this golden calf, everybody at the sound of the trumpet or music must worship this golden calf. But these three Hebrew boys decided not to do it. So as it went on, they refused, even with pleading. They said they were not going to worship the golden calf. Instead, they will worship the Almighty God. And what happened? They decided to report them to King Nebuchadnezzar. And the punishment for that was to throw them into the burning flame. And when they have refused, King Nebuchadnezzar ordered that they should be thrown into the burning flame. And that was what they did. And this thing was, the heat was increased 7 times more. You can find out that it is hotter than what it used to be. And while inside there was air condition. They were not burned, they were not destroyed, they were just moving around. And an attachment of an angel of God was with them. God decided to rescue them because they were doing the right thing. When King Nebuchadnezzar came around, he moved around. It was 3 men we sent into this fire. How come there are 4 now? They could not explain. God has delivered them, and they were brought out of the burning flame. So the reward there is that they were rescued. If they had gone worshiping what they are not expected to worship, maybe that would have been their end. But because they decided to obey God, we were told that they were not killed. And Nebuchadnezzar ordered that everybody in that land must worship the gods of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So we are going to look at the benefits of obeying God, or the benefits of obedience. Number 1, you find out that if you obey God, you will not have regret. You will not have regret. What do I mean like that? Because if you obey God, God will favor you. God will guide you. God will protect you. Whatever you want, God is there to give it for you. So that is all about obedience and its reward. We have seen the persons that obeyed God and they were being rewarded. Now we are going to look at the consequences of disobedience. What is disobedience? Disobedience is when you are asked to do a particular thing and you fail to do it. It may be in school, it may be in the nation. In school we have our laws and orders. And when these laws are given to us, especially students, and you fail to carry them out, you have disobeyed the authority, and there are consequences for that. Disobedience is disregards order being given to you. Secondly, deliberate failure to carry out assignment. All these attract punishment. The punishment might be immediate or might be delayed. So we are going to look at certain persons in the Bible that disobeyed God and the punishment or the consequences they had. Number one is the two sons of Samuel. The two sons of Samuel disobeyed God. What was their offense? They were not taking God's laws seriously. They prevented justice, and God decided to punish them. How did God punish them? The Israelites that were under them decided to go to the elders and complain that they needed a king that would rule them. That was in Ramah. Why was they needing a king? Because of the disobedience of the sons of Eli. So that was the punishment God gave to him, because the people left them and needed a new king. We are also going to look at disobedience under Saul. We were told that Saul was elected as king of Israel. And God decided that he should have a war with the Philistines for disturbing the Israelites. And this war, we were told that Saul did not do what God asked him to do. And at the end, there was a punishment attached to that. What was the punishment that was attached to his disobedience? We were told that Saul was rejected from being the king of Israel. That was number one. He was rejected from being the king of Israel. And since he was rejected from being the king of Israel, we are told that God's spirit departed from him and an evil spirit started tormenting him. This evil spirit, when it comes upon him, he will not be himself. It was like he was having mental issues. He was defeated in a war when he went for a war because God was not with him. He was defeated in that war with the Philistines. In that same war, we were told that Saul died at Mount Gilboa. His 3 sons also died in that same war. Their names are Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua. Died in the same war. You find out that his obedience brought to the end of that family. Others who suffered from this disobedience are the sons of Eli. Eli's sons disobeyed God. And their names are Phinehas and Peninnah, the 2 sons of Eli. Their sins were they did evil in the sight of the law. They took bribe and prevented justice. They slept with women at the gate of the entrance of the temple. And we were told that they would want to collect the fresh meat that was used for sacrifice. And if the people should refuse, they will query. God decided to send Samuel to warn them. But with all this, we were told that the consequences that before them was, during the war with the Philistines, the ark of God was captured. The ark of God was captured. Eli, on hearing, that is Eli their father, on hearing this, that the ark of God has been captured, we were told that he fell backward and broke his neck and died. As if that was not enough, we were also told that the 2 sons died in that battle. Phinehas' wife was pregnant, and at the end we were told that she gave birth to a premature child, and she died, and the child was named Ichabod, meaning the glory has departed from us. Now we are going to look at the significance of what we have just done, the significance or the moral lesson from the stories. We understand that obedience attracts favor from God. It attracts love from God. Disobedience had a devastating consequences. One person's sin can affect other sin, like in the story of Eli we just heard. The sons committed the sin, but it affected every other person, even the nation, because the ark of God was taken away from them. So one person's sin can cause a whole nation to suffer. So those are the two moral and significance under this lesson we have just heard now. So that is all we have for today. And what have we learned for today? Our topic for today was obedience and its reward. And we heard how Joseph, David, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego obeyed God. And we also spoke about their reward. You find out that when you obey the laws, either of the land or the laws of God, you are always rewarded. You cannot go unpaid. You are always rewarded. And we went on further to talk about disobedience. Disobedience is something that we must have to keep away from. Disobedience, we also heard about the people that disobeyed God. Eli's children, Saul, and so on and so forth. You find out that their punishment was so severe. The punishment God gave to them was really severe. So what are we talking about? It is better to obey than to disobey. Because even when Samuel met with Saul, he told him to obey is better than sacrifice and to hearken than fat of rams. It was better for Saul to have obeyed than giving excuses of what he has brought the lambs for, he has done this and that. So I will advise that we as students, we must try to be obedient. Even at home, whether at home or in school, we should try to be obedient because it pays. You are now at home, obey your parents. Obey what they say you should do. Obey them so that the reward will come back to you. If you don't disobey your parents, you find out that even when you ask of something they are not able to give, they will not give it to you because you have disobeyed. So we try to learn to be obedient. And I have said that disobedience could be now, it could be immediately or later. If you feel you have disobeyed and it's not going to affect you in any way, but remember that if you disobey, the punishment could be now or later. It might be delayed if it did not happen immediately. So students, I pray you be obedient students to your family and to the society. Be obedient students. I end my class for today with you. Hope to meet you in the next class. Stay safe. Enjoy your stay.